In this video, I'll explain PHP environments, why an application should behave differently when developing compared with when it goes live, and how to handle errors properly. We currently have a PHP application that displays some data. If something goes wrong, however, such as a root variable that doesn't match, then we get the full details of the error that occurred. These details include the exact line of code and a full stack trace, which is a list showing the sequence of function or method calls that led to the error. This is extremely useful when developing, as it helps us to pinpoint where and why an error happened. In production, though, we most certainly don't want to show these details. For example, paths to the files where the error occurred are shown. Revealing details like this is bad because it exposes the server's internal structure, which can help attackers find and exploit vulnerabilities. Other errors can reveal even more data. If we enter a root path that doesn't match, then the exception details include the database connection credentials, something we most certainly don't want to display. Instead, if an error occurs on our production server, we want to display a generic error page, so we don't reveal any of these details. In the Bootstrap file that's executed for every request, at the top we're currently setting the display errors ini setting to 1, enabling the error detail that we just saw in the browser. Let's change this to 0, which will disable it. Now in the browser, we get a generic error message that doesn't reveal any details of exactly what happened. To achieve this, though, we had to change the source code. This is not recommended, as we could very easily forget to make this change when copying the code to a live production server. Instead, we solve this by running different code depending on the environment. An environment is basically where the code is running, so the same code can run in development, in production, in testing, and so on. The key idea is that the code stays the same, but its behavior changes based on the environment. The .env file contains values that differ between environments. At the moment, this just contains the database connection credentials. These will be different when we copy the code to another server. So let's start in the Bootstrap file by setting the value of display errors based on the environment. Let's do this in separate configuration files, one for each environment. So in the config folder, let's create a new file called errorsdev.php. In here, let's set the display errors setting to 1. Let's create another file in the same folder called errorsprod.php, and in here, we'll set display errors to 0. Then, back in the Bootstrap file, we can remove this call. We'll include one of the files we just added based on a setting in the .env file. The .env file is the only part of the code that does change between different servers. Before we add that, though, let's get the value from the .env file into a variable. Obviously, we have to do this after we've loaded the .env file. If we run this now, we'll get an error, because there's no app_env value in the .env file. Instead of adding this value, let's provide a default with the null coalescing operator. We do this for extra security. We want to always default to production, as this is the most secure setting with regards to displaying error details. If we forget to put the value in the .env file on the production server, then errors won't be displayed by default. Then, we can require one of the error files we just added based on this value. If it's set to dev, we'll load the dev file. If not, the prod file. So if the value is set to anything other than dev, then the production settings will be applied. Again, this means that prod is the default, just in case the setting contains a value that isn't dev or prod. So in the browser, we still see the generic error page. So let's add the setting to the .env file, setting it to prod. This still shows the same error page. If we set it to dev, now we see the full error details. Let's open the Network tab of the Web Developer Tools and reload the page. Even though an error occurred, we're getting a status code of 200. As the response is not OK, this should be different. In the errors dev script, let's set the response code to 500 for a generic server error. To do this for all exceptions, let's add a central exception handler with the setExceptionHandler function. Inside the function, we can set the HTTP response code, then just rethrow the exception. In the browser, we still get full details of the error, but the HTTP status code is now 500. As for the error details, this display and formatting is particular to the PHP built-in web server I'm using. A different server such as Apache will display these details differently, even including less information. One way to make sure we see the same error detail, no matter what server we're using, would be to explicitly output these details in the exception handler. So instead of just rethrowing the exception, we could access the various details of that object and output them individually. Instead of reinventing the wheel though, let's use a third-party package to do this. Let's use the popular whoops library to display the error details in development. So on the command line, let's install this using Composer. We can register the handler with these 3 lines of code. So let's copy these and paste them in the exception handler. After registering the whoops handler, we still need to throw the exception again. Now in the browser, we get nicely formatted error output, which includes all of the environment details and a stack trace we can click on to see the actual lines of code that were executed. This is invaluable when developing, as it can make tracking down the error much easier and faster. One addition we do need to make in here is to ensure that all types of errors are reported. We do this by calling the error reporting function with the eAll constant. This tells PHP to report all types of errors, warnings and notices, including strict standards and deprecation messages. It basically ensures nothing is silenced. Now let's look at how we deal with errors in production. Instead of displaying the full error details, we just want to display a generic message. So let's add an exception handler, set the response code to 500, and output a simple message. To test this, in the .env file, let's set the append variable to prod. In the browser, now we just get that message printed out. If you want to display a nicer message, then you could output a view template in here. As at this point an error has occurred, it's not a good idea to execute more PHP code such as a template that uses a template engine. This is because another error could potentially occur, which might mask the original error. For that reason, let's output a simple, static HTML file. So let's create a new file in the Views folder called 500.html. In here, I'm just going to paste some very minimal HTML to display a simple message. Then, in the errors prod file, instead of outputting this message, let's require the 500.html file we just added. Now in the browser, we get that file printed out. While this is more secure, we still need to know why an error occurs in production. So, instead of just suppressing the error detail and displaying a generic message, in production we also need to log the error. That way we can track down the cause of the problem, but without revealing exactly what the problem is to the end users. To do this, let's call the error log function at the top of the exception handler method, passing in the exception object. As with the development error handler, we want all types of errors to be logged. So let's add the same error reporting call. Note that if you're using the PHP development web server as I am, you need to explicitly enable the PHP error log. To do this, first let's create a file in the root of the application called php.ini. In here, let's enable error logging and set the path to the error log file. I'll include the parent folder in the path. This path should really be an absolute path to a log file, but for the purposes of this example, I'll just keep it simple. Then, to include these settings, when you run the local development web server, you add the -c flag, followed by the file name of the configuration file, in this case php.ini. Now if we request the page with the error again, we're still shown the generic error message. Now though, the error log file has been created in the root of the application. The error detail is shown along with the time and date. So if errors are reported in production, we can track down exactly what occurred without the end user seeing any details. In production, PHP will typically be configured to store error logs elsewhere, so you don't need this configuration file or to store error logs inside the application code itself. Note that the error that's occurring is a not found exception. This happens when no root matches the request. Rather than a generic 500 server error, not found exceptions are typically handled differently in production, showing a different page. This is because a not found exception is usually because the client requested the wrong URL. A 500 error, on the other hand, means something went wrong with the server code. So, to handle these differently, let's start by copying the 500.html file in the views folder and call the copy 404.html. In here, let's change the message and also add a link to the home page. Then, in the bootstrap file, the not found exception is thrown by the router when the dispatch method is called. So let's wrap this in a try catch block, specifically catching the not found exception class from the router package. Inside the catch block, first let's set the HTTP response code to 404. Then, if the environment is dev, let's just rethrow the error. Otherwise, let's require the 404.html page we just added and exit the script. So now a page not found error in production shows the 404 page. A problem on the server, such as the database server not running, shows the 500 page. Let's change the environment to development in the .env file. Now in the browser, the database server not running shows the full error details. For a route that doesn't match, we see the details of the 404 not found exception. So in development, we want as much detail as possible so we can debug any errors. In production, we show a friendly message, but log the details of the error. This is configured not by changing the application code, but by setting the environment in the .env file. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.